Hey, it is the Kill Your Gods podcast. I am Jesse Dram, and fuck it, we're not doing an intro this week. This will be the intro. Yeah, we're wrapping up Sorcerer Stone. In the meantime, follow me at Jesse Dram on all the things. We'll be back next week with guest Rob Cruz to discuss the movie of the Philosophers / Sorcerer Stone. Come out this Friday and check out my show at the Flying Fish Brewery in Somerdale, New Jersey. We're recording today in the new studios. I am wearing the only light t-shirt I own, and we have a very nice guest with us. He's a big fan of Harry Potter and an overall funny guy, comedian Dan Clark. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, man. Thanks for having me on to talk about the dorkiest part of my life and arguably the worst 3 chapters of this book.
Yeah, I mean, story-wise, it wraps up plenty, but
yeah,
I was so dedicated to let's just make this a month because I don't want to work harder on it than I have to, and then it turns out it's a 300-page children's book. Maybe it doesn't need to be 4 or 5 different episodes.
Yeah, well, the last thing you were doing was the Bible, where there's 10 million interpretive text about each word written in the Bible.
Yeah.
So then you go from that to Harry Potter, where it's just we're British, friendship is important.
Yeah, I've said this a few times. I feel like having grown up without Harry Potter, I constantly have to catch myself while reading and going I'm reading all of this in an American accent. And that doesn't really make sense in the Scottish castle of Hogwarts. And I'm sure my Philly accented brain, Harry, don't go in the forest.
Yeah. Yo, Hagrid. Hagrid, stop being a fucking dickhead, dude. Come on, man. Just let me in the goddamn woods.
Go to Hagrid's home, get some Wawa.
Mm-hmm.
But so describe to me your the people I've had on here, by the way, I mentioned that I keep having on comedians that I know, and this is the only time I've seen any of them in the morning.
Yeah,
ever.
That's fair. Yeah.
Night owls. But
it would be weird if you saw more of them in the morning.
True, yeah. I would have to be waking up next to them.
Yeah.
And the only one I ever woke up next to was Jeff Roser, and that's because we were roommates.
Not fucking. Yeah, roommates. Yeah, my bad. Yeah.
Roommates and lovers, as all.
Yeah.
Loving me is on the lease, baby. But yeah, you had not. Well, let's just get into it. What was the start of your fandom, and then we'll get into the big thing. That
I kind of think it was forced on me because I think my mom was just this will be a fun kids book to read to my 2 young sons, and then I was just oh no, I really like this for a period. I'm trying to think. I think I was I'm probably going to be very wrong about when these books came out, but I think I was 8 or 9 when the first one came out, when the Sorcerer Stone came out, and then I was definitely 16 when the last one came out, and I definitely read the last one in a single day because I have a very clear memory of just no one picking up their phone that day when I called them. It was during the summer, and no one picked up their phones. I was all right, I guess I'll just keep fucking reading. So I read the last one in 10 hours.
So this is something I'm actually not aware of with the publication industry history. Did a new one come out every year?
I want to say it was probably at most it was every 2 years. I feel that. Yeah, I also don't totally recall, but I think that might have been the longest delay in between. It wasn't she was doing the George R.R. Martin thing where she was just I'm gonna die before you figure out what happens.
Yeah, that's I actually read a thing with George R.R. Martin where he was people keep saying I'm gonna die before the books come out. I find that very offensive. It's dude, you're 70 and you clearly do not diet or walk.
Yeah, he's a larger fellow.
Yeah. All right, so I'm looking here. So all right, 97 was Sorcerer's Stone, 98, a little bit more than a year to that. Yeah, she consistently came out in July of every year until there was 2 years between. There was 3 years between Goblet of Fire and Order of the Phoenix.
Okay.
then 2 years between that and Half-Blood Prince, then 2 years to Deathly Hallows. Okay.
Yeah, because I definitely did that come out in 2016. Deadly Hollows. No, I'm sorry, 2006.
Deathly Hallows was 2007, and then before that, Half-Blood Prince was 2005.
Okay, because I was definitely like taking a driving lesson, and then went with my mom to get the last one.
Nice. So you had the intended experience then. You very much grew up with these books.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was also the dork that was like, I don't know if the movies are as good. You know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's everything though. I have a story with that. One of my favorite books of the last 20 years is called Horns, which is written by Stephen King's son, Joe Hill.
Oh, and what a thing to live up to. Be Stephen King's son. That sucks.
He's pretty good, honestly. But
I'd become a lawyer if I were him.
I'm Daniel King, attorney at law. But the movie version of that actually starred Daniel Radcliffe, and man, there was. I feel like in supernatural stories, like it depends a lot how you show things on the screen, and I feel like they totally fucked this up. Just like I don't know. Everybody go watch Horns.
That's fair. I'll check that out. But I'm an enormous pussy. But
no, it's not like a horror movie. It's very much a supernatural, but pretty much. So there's a guy who's him and his girlfriend getting a big public spat one night. He wakes up drunk and angry the next day to find out she's been murdered, and he's like the number one suspect in town, but they can't quite prove it. A year later, on the anniversary of her death, he wakes up and he has horns growing out of his head. And,
I do remember this now. Okay.
Yeah. And like when people see it, they like reveal their deepest, most desires. And like, there's only so many ways you could have shown that on film, and they picked the wrong one, I feel.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we're saying, but did I understand you won a contest related to Harry Potter?
Yeah, I won. I forget what radio station. It was technically my mom, but you had to like answer Harry Potter trivia, and I just fed her all the answers, and then we won a family trip to London.
That is fucking crazy. I wish you remembered the radio station, but
I want to say it was B101, but I'm also only saying that because that's the only Philadelphia radio station I can recall my parents like being into. It was like a soft rock, you know,
adult contemporary.
That's it. Yeah, that's I always that's my favorite genre because I don't quite understand what it means.
Well, I just love that they had Delilah every Saturday night, which was just like a nationally syndicated show of like really sad people calling in requesting songs for lovers that are most certainly not listening to the radio right now.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. What was that trip like? Was there anything Harry Potter themed to it?
Oh, it was like mostly Harry Potter themed. Yeah, like we took like a bus tour to like a castle. Well, like
first off, what year was this?
This had to be 2001, 2002, because it was the year I was going into sixth grade, I think. Yeah, I was going into sixth grade. So I think it was 2001, 2002. And then we just took like a bus trip to some castle where they had like Harry Potter themed events. And then I think there was something they did like I might be wrong. This might be my dumb memory making shit up, but I think they did like a grand feast kind of thing, like like the Hogwarts thing. And then other than that, I think we just like dicked around and found our own shit to do.
That's still a really cool prize to win. I mean, especially at like 12 years old.
Yeah, all because I knew how tall Hagrid was or whatever.
Wait, how tall is Hagrid? Is it one of those like European methods of measurement where it's like the king's hand and he's like 11 of them?
I felt like it was. I feel like it was. He was described as feet. I don't think it was like they gave like an exact height for him.
Okay.
But no, yeah, I think in Harry Potter when they do describe height, they say feet. They're not like dorks and go meters, or they don't go you weigh 5 stone, which is the stupidest fuck. British people rereading this made me realize my distaste for British people.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
They still have kings and queens, and they expect us to give a shit about them.
yeah. I mean, that's also 500 years of Irish ancestry flowing through me.
True.
And I'm reading
Yeah.
this and I'm like, the colonizers, the goddamn colonizers.
I came all the way to the New World, and the fucking Prince Harry followed me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh God, I love the conspiracy theory that is not much of a conspiracy theory actually. That Prince Harry is like not actually Prince Charles' son.
I never heard that.
So supposedly he is the actual son of Princess Di's former lover, and like if you see a photo of the guy, it's like, oh yeah, obviously.
Is that guy still alive, or did he also get whacked by the royal? I'm full in on that conspiracy that it wasn't
Ooh.
an accident.
God, that would be funny if like 30 years from now somebody tries to like Da Vinci Code Harry Potter, and it's like, no, Princess Diana was murdered by the royals. All the hints are there.
Yeah, yeah.
That is why J.K. Rowling became transphobic. It was a coded language against Queen Elizabeth II.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what? I know this doesn't apply to you much as a cis man, but
Sure.
I keep hearing people just saying how much J.K. Rowling becoming transphobic ruined the books for them. How does that affect you in any way, shape, or form?
No, because I wasn't. Well, one, because I'm as you say, a cis upstanding man. I don't know.
You're an
Whatever.
upstanding citizen.
I'm an upstanding cyst. No, but also like I wasn't actively reading them when all that shit came. Like by the time she got a Twitter, I'd basically forgotten about Harry Potter, except for when the movies would replay on some cable channel. Yeah, so like it wasn't. I don't know. And like I don't look back on my childhood and go, how could a 9-year-old me stand for this? It's like I didn't fucking know what any of this stuff was then. So.
That's one of the things. I tried having this conversation last week, but I did give the caveat of like, also I'm a straight cis dude, so I guess that is my superpower. Shit doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
I cannot imagine being like when I find out my heroes are pieces of shit. I actually kind of like it. Like I love Kurt Vonnegut, and a few years ago, an unauthorized biography because he was very like whimsical, like be kind to each other, children, and we become what we pretend to be, so we must be careful what we pretend to be. And then a biography came out. It's like actually he was a really miserable old man who like never got over his jealousy of his brother and like was a real shithead to his wife. And a lot of people,
an author. Like, of course he was.
Exactly. Do you have any idea what a grumpy piece of shit you are if you spend like 8 hours a day in a room looking at a screen because like you can't make made up people connect the way they're supposed to? You're gonna take that out on everyone near you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I write jokes for a living. Every time I leave the room, I kick one of my cats.
Yeah, as you should, as is your right as an open mic comedian to kick an animal when you leave the room.
It's part of the process.
Yeah.
Come on. So I don't know. So yeah, I like hearing that these people are pieces of shit because it's like, I never had any. I don't understand what world you have to be in where you can be upset of like, I enjoy something written by a problematic person and I don't know how to feel about that. Like if you've listened to hip hop, like you probably like somebody who's done some very violent things.
Yeah. If you consume art just in general, you definitely are into someone who's probably a dog shit human, at least to waiters,
Oh, if nothing else. I mean, oh God, to even think back, it is funny though what you'll defend as a little kid. I remember being like a teenager, and when people were like, Eminem is homophobic, and you're like 14, like, no, he's not. And then like you're in your 30s, and like, ooh, stab you in the head whether you're a fag or les. Like, kind of hard to spin that.
Well, I was re-listening. DMX is one of my favorite rappers of all time. R.I.P. the dog, but he I was listening to him a couple of months for the first time when I was running, or for the first time again, and I was just like, oh, I feel bad listening to this. It's a lot of homophobia. It's like really, he digs it. If you thought Eminem was bad, DMX was just like, nope, I do not like them. It wasn't even like a shock value thing. He was just like, this is not the way life is supposed to be lived. And I was like, damn, X, I can't have this. I can't have this while I'm running.
Like, he's so serious about it, he just stops rhyming.
You feel it. Yeah. Yeah. He just gives like a TED talk on the natural order of things.
Dude, I was actually shocked. I was watching YouTube the other day, and you know how sometimes some like real schmucks will pay for their music video to be an advertisement on YouTube?
Oh, yeah. I hate that so much.
There was a rap song that came on. I was honestly astonished that they put this up as a commercial, because it was just a very like right-wing MAGA like black guy rapper.
Okay.
And it was straight up like, being gay isn't how you should live your life, and trans is made up and shit. And
yeah, damn.
it's like, wow, this guy paid for this.
Yeah.
It's funny. My bachelor party, me and fellow comic Neil Wood, go check out Cult of Us podcast. Me and him went to Atlantic City for my bachelor party, and we went to a strip club. This was the same weekend that DMX died, which I feel like going to a strip club is like going back to his favorite place to celebrate him, because it was nothing but like mourning black guys and wiggers just like rocking out to DMX, like crying, making it rain on some poor track mark stripper.
Man, that's how he would have wanted it. That's what he would have wanted.
Yes.
Not that I was a personal friend of DMX, but I can only assume that that's exactly what he did when some of his friends died.
Yes, I can only assume it was in his will.
Yeah,
I'm sure he had it on an album somewhere. All right, so let's wrap up the summary of the Sorcerer's Stone, and pretty much anything you had to say at any point, just interrupt me. We're doing chapter 50. Oh, actually, real quick, tell us anything you have to promote, social media, anything you got coming up.
All right. Well, I don't have a podcast anymore, but if you want to listen to old episodes of My Voice Sucks, go check that out, because they're still up. I haven't taken them down or anything. They'll live on forever. The only show I have, I don't know how many of your fans live in Austin, Texas, but I'll be in Austin, Texas doing shows for the Altercation Comedy Festival in October 27th to the 31st. I'll be dicking around down Texas way. And then I don't know, if you're in Philly and you want to come to an open mic, come to the 700 every Wednesday. That's always a fun time, except for last Wednesday. The room was kind of dead. But
I had a very good time there on Wednesday.
All right. Well, I'm glad you did.
Okay. So chapter 15, The Forbidden Forest. Filch takes Harry, Hermione, and Ron to Professor McGonagall's office to be punished. She accuses them of concocting the whole dragon story to lure Malfoy out of bed and get him into trouble.
Yeah.
As punishment, McGonagall deducts 50 points from Gryffindor for each of the 3 wrongdoers. Harry is horrified that his house will lose 150 points. When the bad news is circulated the next morning, Harry quickly falls from his pedestal as Quidditch star. He considers resigning from the team, but Wood convinces him that doing so would be useless. So this is one of the only questions I have. Do you have a similar story? Was there a time you like ruined something for a group of people?
I don't think so. No. I was like a okay kid. I wasn't like a shithead who got like detentions or anything, or like fucked around that in such a way that like it impacted other people. So I really don't think so.
It wasn't me personally, but I remember a friend of mine on we were on a field trip to Wildwood, and they just like ran away from the group, and it was bad.
What weird school did you go to? They were like, let's take these kids to the worst part of New Jersey.
I think it was like a whale watching thing. This was
in
like
fucking whales are in Wildwood.
They're somewhere near there. It's on the ocean. The ocean is where whales live, I guess. The important thing is we did not make it to the whales because one of the kids ran off, and they found him an hour later after we dropped everything we were supposed to be doing to go find this kid. And then literally it was like, okay, field trip canceled. We're going back.
Damn.
Yeah. So fuck that guy.
I had friends who I think this is the closest thing where they just never cleaned up their shit at lunch. Mm-hmm. So they gave our whole table lunch detention for a week. And during that time, one of my friends in high school was truly constipated. So he just kept like the whole time he just kept going, "I can't poop," to the teacher, and the teacher was like, "I don't know what to do with this kid." But it was true. I think my friend ended up having to like go to the doc. I don't know what, but like the whole time he just kept saying, "I can't poop," for like a week in this science class where they had lunch detention.
How old was he that this was the only thing he would say?
This was in high school, so
Okay, so it wasn't like he was simple. This was just consuming his entire body and
it
mind.
was, yeah. I mean, listen, if you haven't pooped for a week and you feel like you have to, what else
Yeah.
are you gonna think about?
They just had me on steroids for 2 weeks for poison ivy rash, and yeah, constipation is a factor there. So
Oof, that's
very
awful.
miserable, very miserable when you already feel like you're boiling from the inside, and now you can't get the bad stuff out.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Harry resolves not to get involved in any more suspicious activities, but a week later, he overhears a conversation in which Quirrell appears to give in to someone, presumably Snape, as if Snape is pressing him to do something.
Yeah.
Harry and his friends try to figure out what to do, but they cannot come up with a plan of action. Harry, Hermione, and Neville are told to report to Hagrid that night for their detention. When they show up, they're surprised to find that detention will be held in the surrounding Forbidden Forest, the Wildwood of Hogwarts, no doubt.
Yeah.
Plenty of centaurs running around down the shore.
Yeah, centaurs are fucking annoying. I forgot because I hadn't read this in God knows how long, but the centaurs are pieces of shit animals.
I can't get a read on them. We'll wait till they actually show up.
Sure.
When they show up, they're surprised to find detention will be Malfoy, who has also been given detention, objects to being forced outside like a servant. Hagrid points to traces of the unicorn blood on the ground and explains that they will be going to find out who's been harming the animals. They split up into 2 groups, Harry and Hermione with Hagrid, Neville and Malfoy with Hagrid's dog, Fang. They penetrate deep into the forest, deep and wet. Harry sees signs that the other group is in trouble, but Hagrid discovers that Malfoy is merely playing tricks on Neville. I know we're supposed to, but kind of like fuck Malfoy. Like even in the middle of like the dangerous, I mean, it's a jungle forest. He's just like fucking with Neville because he has nothing better to do.
Yeah, he's a dog shit human. But I mean, we all knew that.
I know. I hate. It sucks when you almost feel manipulated by reacting to literature the way you're supposed to. It's like, I fucking hate that guy.
Well, what annoys me, one, it annoys me when adults, people roughly our age and maybe like 5 to 6 years younger are like, I am a Hufflepuff, or that annoys me on a surface level. But then when people are like, actually, I'm a Slytherin, I'm like, you have choices in this, and you pick to be the shittiest of these people. That bothers me.
While we're asking, then, what house are you?
I don't know, Jesse. I'm a fucking adult.
The one and only right answer.
Woo! I don't know. Yeah, I don't.
When you were a little kid, though, did you have an affinity where I feel it's either like you want to be the bad boy in Slytherin, or like you want to be I want to be in the same thing as Harry Potter.
There was a very good chance I said Gryffindor. I don't remember though. I don't think I I don't think I wrote down anywhere that like, this is why I'm a Gryffindor, because I view myself as loyal and they're loyal and they're brave and Harry's brave and brave people get all the girls. And like, I don't think I did that.
That's right. You know how there's only 4 personality traits of all people.
Yeah, exactly.
Everywhere.
Yeah. God, at least with astrology, they have like 12 different ones.
Yeah.
Which is its own annoying thing, but
it's literally what's your frat. Like I'm lambda. I want to be with the nerds.
Yeah.
Although, oh God, it's funny to look at again. So that kind of thing is stupid, but even the opposition to it is stupid. Like I remember a very angsty 19-year-old me got invited to my cousin's college party. And while they went to Temple, and while I was there, I was talking to a girl, and she was like, "Yeah, sir, are you in a frat?" And I said, "Like, no, I can make friends on my own," which is just as dumber, I would say.
Yeah. It's annoying to be too extreme on either end.
Yeah.
I knew people that were in frats that were like, I don't know, just like to get fucked up with people that thought like me. I was like, all right, that's fair. But then I also knew people that were like, well, actually, it's like a deep brotherhood. And, we just really understand each other. I'm like, no, you don't. Like,
yeah, you guys did some. I feel like that stuff is really like, it's funny when you look at that, like the history of war and like fraternal societies, and like they're all bonded together in like, they made us do gay shit with each other on day one, and now we're kind of like stuck with that humiliation.
Yeah.
You either need to like bleed or come together to be brothers for life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very that's all I got is yeah for that. Sorry. So where these dumbass centaurs come up where they're like the Mercury's in something Venus, or they say Venus, right? They go Venus a lot. They're
okay. Hagrid sends Harry off with Malfoy, taking Neville along with himself. Harry and Malfoy come across a mysterious cloaked figure drinking the blood of a recently killed unicorn.
Yeah.
Did they have to put like every fucking magic thing that ever existed? Like there's dragons and unicorns and centaurs. Like where's a
honestly
minotaur?
Probably my thought would be that when she was writing this, she was like, well, I mean, I don't know the logistics if she had like whoever published it, if she had like a several book deal, but she was probably like, let me just fit all this shit in the same thing. So like, because I might not be able to get another one of these to spread it out more.
True, yeah. She wanted to see the ground with everything they got.
Yeah. And then she was like, then I'll get rich and famous, and then I'll fight the trans people.
Fight the real enemy.
Yeah.
Malfoy and Fang
Voldemort was trans.
Yes. Malfoy and Fang run away, leaving Harry alone. A centaur named Firenze rescues Harry and carries him back to Hagrid. On his way back, Harry learns that the cloaked figure was Voldemort and that he was drinking unicorn blood to sustain himself until he could obtain the Sorcerer's Stone. All right, let's talk about these dickhead centaurs.
Yeah.
So what? They're kind of into astrology. I don't get in a later book, aren't they like rapists or something? Doesn't something happen with that Umbridge lady?
Oh, I think she just gets like the shit kicked out of her by them. I mean, you could probably read into that they like sexually assaulted her, but
I read something that they like raped that lady. Hold on, I'm gonna look this up.
There's probably I'm sure. I don't know if that's explicit in the books. I don't remember a whole lot from the books, but I feel like I feel like I'd remember an explicit rape in a Harry Potter book.
Yeah, I could have sworn that there's like a line somewhere where like the centaurs are very attracted to something, and then they just throw this bitch out in the woods, and they're just like, okay, let's mount her physically.
Oh, I thought they just like stomped on her because I thought she did something that like pissed them off.
Okay, so from our friends at cracked.com, which has not been good in 7 years,
Sure.
Dolores Umbridge gets gang raped by centaurs.
Damn.
All right, unless you can't. Near the climax of the book of the film, Umbridge is hauled screaming into the Forbidden Forest by a group of centaurs. No one knows what happens next. What you have to realize is there's a reason Rowling made sure it was centaurs. In one legend that is canon, centaurs were invited to a wedding feast and attempted to rape the bride. In another, the famous centaur Nessus was killed while trying to rape a woman.
So wait, in Harry Potter world, this
I think that might just be grander centaur lore.
Oh, okay. So you kind of have to be a dork and know a lot about centaurs to come up with that theory.
True. And okay, they put this is actually from the book about afterward. Here is Rowling's depiction of her in the aftermath. Professor Umbridge was lying in a bed opposite them, gazing up at the ceiling. Since she had returned to the castle, she had not, as far as any of them knew, uttered a single word. Nobody really knew what was wrong with her either. Her usually neat, mousy hair was very untidy, and there were still bits of twigs and leaves in it. But otherwise, she seemed to be quite unscathed.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. That seems right. Yeah.
Sounds a little bit,
No, I just assumed they stomped on her. But
they did in one way or another.
Yeah. Anyway, so you have these centaur dorks that are really into Venus.
Yeah. So what is it? They read the sky from it, and they like talk in vagueness.
Yeah, I think they read the sky. I'm scrolling through it on my phone now. They read the sky, and then they're like, I guess they can like figure out what's going to happen in the future, and then but they're not allowed to tell humans. They're just supposed to be vague.
Oh God! So they have all the information in the world, and then they do not share it. With anyone. Which, by the way, we're talking shit on centaurs. Meanwhile, my wife has her witchy lunar planner.
Oh yeah, I mean, Yeah, but I'm sure if your wife found out something through that, she'd be like, "Hey, maybe we should not do this because it'll cause us grave danger." Whereas the
Exactly.
centaur, like, I don't know, just figure Venus out, man. You can do it.
Yeah, it would be really shitty if my witchy wife was like, Saturn is waning upon the rings of Titan and there is foreboding in the midst. And what she really want to say is like, you should have your prostate checked. You have cancer.
Yeah.
All right. Chapter 16, Through the Trap Door. The year-end examinations go off without a hitch, although Harry feels that Voldemort will burst through the door at any second. While, by the way, were you ever, because you were a little kid when you got into it, were you ever one of those kids that played along and called him he who would not be named, like wouldn't say his name?
So. I don't think so. But I also, I had like one friend that was also into Harry Potter. A lot of my friends really didn't get into it.
None of my friends ever read.
Yeah, well, yeah, same thing here. I was like the dork that read in my group of friends.
Yeah, I get very close to dyslexics.
That's fair. They're fun. They're fun people. I get it. No, I don't think I was ever like, "Ooh, I can't say his name because that'll bring it to life." Ooh. Yeah, I don't think I ever did that. I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. But I don't think I am.
While Harry is a guest at Hagrid's, Harry learns that while drunk and playing cards, I do like that they make Hagrid a little bit of a lush. That feels about right.
Yeah, that made me. I did like that too. Actually, I forgot about that until I read that. That he blitzed it. He was like, "Dragon eggs are cool. You got one? I'll take it. if you wanna play my dog a flute, you can fuck it or just walk past it. Whatever. I'll be asleep."
I mean, even though with his massive proportions, it is a little bit like it makes me think of like the legendary drinking stories of Andre the Giant.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Only he's also magical.
Yeah.
I destroyed Hulk Hogan and I took his dragon egg.
Yeah.
And then I drank 15 bottles of vodka and my spine hurts.
Yeah.
I'm not an impressionist. People want to be.
Yeah. Andre. I don't know. I've heard like 3 interviews with Andre the Giant, and that's just how he sounds in my head.
It is also hilarious when you look back. Like they build him as like 7'4", and Hulk Hogan is 6'3", and then you see them in the ring against each other, and they're like a 3-inch difference.
Yeah.
I don't know. I am particularly, if we want to talk about magic, I am particularly wrapped up in the magic of pro wrestling again at the moment because of
the AEW stuff's cool. I was watching that last night.
CM Punk returned, the prodigal son.
I'm not even a big wrestling guy. I was just with people because every comedian in Philadelphia loves wrestling for some reason. So I was like, all right, I should.
I feel like we all get into it and out of it. For me, this is big because CM Punk was the one who got me back into it in 2009. I pretty much I took a break from wrestling when I, could be having sex and playing in bands instead.
Yeah, sure.
But then when those days were over, wrestling, why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really cool to see all that. I had another point and I lost it entirely. Let's get back to this.
Yeah.
Hagrid revealed to Voldemort that anyone can get past the 3-headed guard dog, Fluffy, by playing music to him. Voldemort was in disguise. We're not sure how yet, but we'll find out. Harry and his friends rush to find Dumbledore to tell him the news, but they run into McGonagall, who informs them that Dumbledore has been called off to London by the Ministry of Magic. Yeah. I will say one thing about reading this book for the first time. We actually spend very little time with Dumbledore.
Yeah. So I only read these last 3 chapters because you told me to. I didn't read the whole book.
I can refresh your memory. We see him he's one of the first people we meet as he's coming down the lane to drop Harry off with the Dursleys.
Yeah.
And then other than that, like we get a letter from him, and I think he shows up at like the initial sorting ceremony. But a lot of this book is Harry like, oh, I can't wait to meet Dumbledore, and Dumbledore is just like not.
Yeah.
He's got. I mean, I'm sure he has wizard things to attest to, but then also he's running a massive school, so I'm sure he's got to he's got to figure out
when HR stuff. He's got labor issues. Yeah, he's got a whole stuff.
The owls were late delivering the food, so they got a whole problem. He has to fill fill out a grant request to the Ministry of Magic.
Yeah, there's a lot of administrative stuff that J.K. Rowling really glossed over, which in hindsight pisses me off. I would know more about it. I would know more about what's the in-house lawyer's life of Hogwarts like? What is that?
I mean, guys, there's magic, and then there's just like really glossing over the important things.
Yeah.
Like the mechanics. How do you think Hogwarts doesn't run on magic? It runs on bureaucracy.
Yeah. What is the hiring process? Who are they vetting? Do these teachers are all like 50,000 years old? Do they ever age out? I think Dumbledore is like 200.
Yeah. How does a young wizard ever work in if these baby boomers who in the magic world is a generation that murdered a lot of babies? That's how they got that name. But the baby boomers won't step down. They're just hanging out. They buy up second properties. How is a young magic couple to start a new life together?
Gentrification in the wizarding world is an overlooked issue, and I only came on this podcast hoping it would be brought up. So thank you, Jesse. You're doing.
We're talking about the important things here.
Yeah. Expelliarmus is bullshit. Who cares? It's not in the grand scheme of things. You can just hit someone.
I want to Expelliarmus the muggles out of my neighborhood. I don't want them looking at my children.
Yeah. That's tough. Yeah.
I wonder if muggles do drive property value down.
I don't know. I feel like wizards are very they all have like their own insulated neighborhoods. So I don't even know if they're
a little bit like Hasidic Jews. They wear funny hats.
Yeah.
Keep to themselves mostly.
Yeah.
I want to know how they fit as a voting bloc, particularly in like the UK. Like, are they conservative? Do they vote Labour? Were they Margaret Thatcher people?
Probably.
All we know
based on J.K. Rowling's personality.
So, all we know for certain is they definitely decided we need to get rid of that half-blood Princess Diana before she spills all the secrets. So,
yeah, you're right. It was the wizarding community, actually.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, like, they were in a car being chased by paparazzis on motorcycles, taking photographs. Like, yeah, you know what else causes big flashes? Magic.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. Voldemort. I'm here to start the hashtag Voldemort killed die.
Okay.
Yeah.
Harry and his friends rush to Dumbledore to tell him this news, but they run into McGonagall, who informs them that Dumbledore has been called off to London by the Ministry of Magic. Harry convinces Hermione and Ron they need to grab the stone that night. As they are heading out, Neville tries to stop them. Hermione immobilizes him with a spell, and they proceed. Poor fucking Neville.
Yeah.
He's just so much of a pain in the ass. You're not even rooting for him yet.
Yeah, yet. And you haven't seen any of the movies, right?
I saw like two of them I think I saw what did I say? I saw Goblet of Fire and Half-Blood Prince, but I don't remember anything about the plot of Half-Blood Prince.
Okay. Well, because I think if I recall, he gets like hot. So like he starts off like the actor, he's like a dorky kid, and then he's a hot dude now.
Dude, that must be so tricky. Like hiring kids for like long-term roles when you have no idea what they're. I understand why they go for like cherubic children with kidney issues, like Gary. What's his name? It's not Gary Shanley. I want to say what you talking about? That Gary Coleman.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gary Coleman and Emmanuel Lewis and those creepy. The only ones I will say is like somebody had a good bead on the Olsen twins because they were fucking goblin looking as children, and then they like go look.
You just have high standards for like 3-year-olds.
Yes. Hold on.
I was gonna say, they're just like cute little kids.
No, they weren't cute. They looked like troll dolls.
They look like goblins now. As adults, they don't look healthy.
No, they do not look healthy. Even I honestly think my conspiracy theory is they morphed into one, and now that is Elizabeth Olsen.
Gotcha.
You never see them all in the same place at once. I'm gonna share screen just for this shit. Look at these troll dolls.
They look like no little kid is like objectively I want to be very clear. I'm just talking about like little kids and how they look. I'm not
Well, we're
trying to
not
get
talking
like,
about hot children here.
yeah, we're not talking about hot kids. I'm just talking about I don't think any small kid is like a good looking kid. All kids look weird until they're like 12, but even then they look weird too. No one looks normal until they're like 19, I think.
Yeah. I mean, God, I think they look like witches.
We can criticize them now because they do look like witches on meth. You're right.
Yeah.
But
Well, not only that, it's also weird, just like, I feel like, didn't they like both marry like dudes in their 60s or something like that? Like if there is an Illuminati, the Olsen twins are in it and directly profiting from it.
yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. I don't know. I haven't kept up with I just know they like stop acting and then did like fashion shit. That's the last thing I heard.
I mean, hey, you want to talk QAnon? You want to talk adrenochrome? Remember the song "Brother for Sale," 25 cents? Well,
Yeah.
there you have it. They were selling him for harvest.
Hell yeah.
Okay. When they reach Fluffy, Harry, Hermione, and Ron notice a heart by his feet and realize someone has already passed him. Harry plays a flute he has brought, putting Fluffy to sleep and allowing his gang to go through the trapdoor. They land on some sort of plant with twisting tendrils that wrap around Harry and Ron. Hermione gets out immediately and uses fire from her wand to stave off the plant. Next, they encounter a large locked room in a room full of large locked door in a room full of birds. There we go. That are actually keys. Harry uses his Quidditch skills to catch the right bird and unlock the door. They then must play a violent game of chess in which each of them is a chess piece. Ron masterfully leads them through the game, but he must allow himself to be captured and severely beaten, which of course is an allegory for he got raped by a rook.
Yeah, that's
yeah. by the opposing queen to win. Harry and Hermione then come upon a series of potions and a logic puzzle. Hermione figures out which potions to drink and then goes back to help Ron and Harry move forward to find the stone.
Oh wait, I want to get to the page because I think Hermione said, and it was at this moment where I was like, it made me really dislike British people because what Hermione said. Harry goes, "I'm not as good as you," and then she goes, "Me, books and cleverness. There are more important things: friendship and bravery. Oh, Harry, be careful." I was like, "Fuck British people. That's so annoying. Stop, ham-fisting fucking." Life lessons
into these mouths of children. Like this is fucking
Like no one's this smart. Like that I read
you're a
that
better wizard than me. You did.
Yeah, and I was like, British people are awful. And it's not even Hermione. I'm more mad at J.K. Rowling for trying to make like an 11-year, because I think they're supposed to be like 11 or 12 in this.
Yeah,
like just trying to make them these like wise philosophical people that can see the important things in life.
That's what I love when art showcases little kids as just being like shitty, stupid.
Oh
kids.
yeah. No, me too.
Me and my wife are talking about having kids right now, and I've just had to think about it a lot. And I have had the thought of like, I probably won't like this kid for like 8 years.
Yeah, you'll like it when it's born.
Yeah, it'll be cute.
Yeah. Imagine, and then it'll turn 5, and you'll be like, kid's being a little bit of a cunt.
Yeah.
And then until it's like 18, you'll be like, oh, I'm proud of you for whatever you did in the past 13 years. I was barely paying attention.
I'm genetically proud of you. I want you to know these are my cells talking, an instinct and a million years of evolution. I don't have a choice in this matter, but I'm proud of you for whatever the fuck that's worth.
God, your kid's going to be an open mic comedian. He's going to follow in your footsteps.
Oh,
you say shit like that, I'm genetically proud of you.
I have straight up told my wife, like, oh yeah, no, I will bring the kid to open mics. I don't care. I will just fucking plop him in whatever girl open micer has been doing it for 6 months. Like, watch this kid. I got to go on stage and talk about how I can't stand his mother.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're listening to this and you have never seen live stand-up, like, I'm not even talking your local comedy club, go to a fucking open mic, because God, I've seen so many people, particularly reading like online on Reddit, like, well, not only Reddit, but like Facebook. After all the quarantine stuff, there were a lot of comics who just started in like the Zoom open mics.
Yeah, so they have no idea how to talk to people in front of them.
Right. And not to like getting upset. It's like, are the Zoom open mics going to be coming back now that the numbers are going up? And they like try to defend it as like its own legitimate art form. Like, no, it's you're on training wheels.
Yeah, for sure.
Go to an open mic and watch a fucking 24-year-old doing their best with no skills and learn something about life.
Yeah.
We have a quote here that's going to come up from Dumbledore. This popped up on my summary. After all,
in chapter 17,
chapter 17. This is actually this is jumping ahead a little bit, but the line is going to be, after all, to the well-organized mind, death is but the next great adventure.
Oh yeah, that's I don't know, that's stupid.
Man, I'd like to believe that horse shit.
That would be I don't know, pretty. You're an atheist, right? I can say God's dumb to you and you won't hit me, right?
It's the Kill Your Gods podcast. I think it's safe to say. I am a begrudging atheist. The thought of nothing terrifies me, but I see no evidence of anything else.
Oh, see, I find peace in that.
No, I feel like the best. Are you a fan of BoJack Horseman at all?
Yeah, that's a bummer of a show.
Yes, it is. That second to last episode, which should have been the last episode.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That image of the black consuming and dissolving them. That's like, ooh, that's a pretty good representation and also terrifying.
Yeah, no, I always, not to be too serious on a Saturday morning, but I don't know. I find it comforting thinking that, oh, well, there was a whole bunch of time that I wasn't around for, and it'll be just like that.
No, I wish I was there for that too.
Yeah.
I want to be here for all of it.
Oh, okay. So the second they find like an immortal pill, you're like, I will sell everything to have it.
Yes.
Oh,
100%.
All right. That sounds miserable.
Yeah, guess what? More immortality for me. Have fun feeding the worms.
You have it, dude. That's fine.
Okay. Harry lies, telling Quirrell. Oh, okay. God, this totally just skips a little bit. This is what I get for copy and pasting.
Oh no, it's fine. But I mean, we can just get, because he sees Quirrell, and then Quirrell's like, "That's right, I'm not Snape. What up, fuckface?" I just did Rob Cruz there. That was my best Rob Cruz impression. Shout out Rob Cruz. I love that guy. But yeah,
they see Quirrell there. Harry gets the stone, but Quirrell doesn't know he has it. Harry lies, telling. So Quirrell puts him in front of the mirror. That's right. They're trying to figure out from the. Now I remember. So they're trying to put him in front of the mirror so he can be like, "Tell me where the stone is." And the mirror, sensing Harry is doing this, magically puts the stone in his pocket.
Yeah.
Harry lies, telling Quirrell that he sees himself in the mirror winning the House Cup for Gryffindor. Voldemort, we can hear Voldemort's voice somewhere, tells Quirrell that Harry is lying.
Yeah.
Wishing to speak to him directly, Voldemort tells Quirrell to unwrap his turban. Harry is shocked to find Voldemort's face on the back of Quirrell's head. Voldemort is a shapeshifter who has been using Quirrell's body, and his face is visible out the back of his head. Can you imagine being a child in the UK and just like Sikhs and turban-wearing people must have gotten some hard looks from English children for a good decade there.
Yeah, there was probably some like, is the mean wizard behind there, mommy? Yeah, like that had to be tough.
Yeah,
J.K. Rowling was probably like, this is what I wanted.
So, you know what's funny? When it comes to like jingoism and like really xenophobic, not trusting other people, there has been a lot of depictions of them as wearing turbans. Anytime there's a problem with foreigners, it's not the turban people.
Yeah.
You remember after 9/11, there was a lot of harassment of Sikhs. Like, Sikhs hate those fucking guys. They're on your side. They have a dagger on them at all times. That's awesome.
Yeah. No, I didn't think about that before, but you're 100% right. It's never any Sikhs or anything.
Yeah. At first I said nothing because I was not one of the turban people. Actually, my brother Kenny had a Sikh friend at school, but God, he would have been expelled nowadays. But he once made the Sikh kid cry by like snatching off his turban.
Sheesh.
But he was 6. They don't know. They don't know
Oh
these
yeah.
things.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be a definite expulsion and a lot of a very in-depth history lesson for a 6-year-old that could not appreciate it.
Yeah.
Voldemort tries to persuade Harry to give him the stone, which he knows is in Harry's pocket. He tells Harry to join him rather than resist and be killed like his parents. Again, it's like I killed your parents, but like if you just do what I say now, I mean we'll be fine. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fun.
Harry refuses Voldemort and orders Quirrell to seize Harry. Quirrell tries, but each time he grabs for Harry, his hands blister as if burned. Harry grabs Quirrell, putting him in tremendous pain. Meanwhile, the pain in Harry's forehead scar is steadily increasing. As the struggle intensifies, Harry feels himself losing hold of Quirrell and falling. Yeah, this is kind of a cop-out. They're really doing their best to write how a fucking 11-year-old somehow saved the day.
Yeah.
When Harry regains consciousness, Dumbledore is standing over him. Harry starts telling Dumbledore that Quirrell has the stone, but Dumbledore tells him to chill. Harry really realizes that
Yo, Harry, chill, dude, chill.
Harry, no, it ain't even nothing, man. We took care of that.
You're good, dude. You're fine. You're driven, man. I mean,
attaboy. He asks Dumbledore again about the stone, and Dumbledore tells him that he just arrived in time to save Harry from Quirrell. Dumbledore adds that he spoke with Nicholas Flamel and they decided to destroy the stone. He explains also that Quirrell could not touch Harry because Harry was protected by his mother's love. Convenient. Yeah, gross. I don't like this and covered with your mother's love. That sounds like a porn video I watched accidentally once.
5 times.
Harry, no, don't cover I'm your mother. Don't cover me with your love.
Yeah.
Thin. Ew. It's too early for incest joke. Dumbledore also reveals that it was he who left the invisibility cloak for Harry, and explains that there was enmity between Snape and Harry's father, much like the enmity between Malfoy and Harry. Furthermore, Dumbledore explains how Harry ended up with the stone. He was the only one who wanted to find the stone for itself rather than the power he could gain from it. So there's some stuff here. Like Harry's initially like, wait, Nicholas Flamel agreed to just die if he gives up the Sorcerer's Stone. But that's where we get the line like, oh, well, it's just the next adventure.
But I also think it was funny that they kind of, that she put in like, well, I mean, him and his wife have enough elixir to figure out their will and get their affairs in order.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, who gives a shit?
Like you're going to live.
Yeah.
You're going to live for 900 years and be like, oh, an 11-year-old was in danger for a second. Yeah, I'll give all this up.
Yeah. Well, not even that. Just the idea that because he wrote like, well, they have enough elixir. They'll stay alive. They'll be able to settle their will. It's like, why is that part necessary?
Right. And what is that will? You know, I bequeath this. Please leave me in a painting forever.
Yeah.
I talked about this in the last episode. The fact that they celebrate Christmas, I am very curious what like the religious epistemology is of this word.
Oh, I mean, I guess Jesus was a wizard, right?
Yeah, but like,
you just got finished reading all of the Bible. Does he play Quidditch?
That's right. There is. So that's the thing. That's the Da Vinci Code. Is that Jesus? The cross is supposed to symbol actually the broom, which he rode away to heaven and was seated at the right hand of the Father, where he held the golden snitch.
Yeah.
And it was 30 points to humanity, and sin was forgiven.
30 points to human.
Yeah. Harry gets out of his hospital bed to go to the end of year feast. Oh, but all right. So we also we realize Snape isn't quite the bad guy.
Yeah.
I know they teased that the whole time, which again, for a little kid, must be fucking mind blowing. Like, but he has greasy hair and he's mean. What do you mean he's not? You're blowing my fucking mind, JK.
Yeah, I don't quite remember my reaction to this, but I'm sure I did have like a black guy sees magic reaction. You ever see those videos?
Wait, what was it? Oh yeah. Inner city magic where they.
Yeah.
That's still.
I'm sure that's the exact reaction I had when I read that it wasn't Snape.
That's still one of the best jokes in the movie Boogie Nights, where the one character played by John C. Reilly is like really into magic, and he's showing
Yeah.
Don Cheadle's character a card trick.
Oh
And Don
yeah.
Cheadle's like really like, that's impressive, man. But like, don't you worry about like dabbling in the dark arts? And he's like, no, it's like sleight of hand. Like, yeah, but like, don't you worry about like your eternal soul?
Yeah.
Like, I would love to be one of those people that still lives. Whoa, okay. The fact that we were just talking about black people and magic, I did not mean those people, but I was going to say one of those people.
I knew what you meant. With someone who still is like,
I want to believe.
It would be fun to have like when it comes to like what magic is. Like it would be fun to be like a 6-year-old and be like, "There's no fucking way you did that unless you're a wizard." Like have that kind of mindset.
Mm-hmm. Like Neil Wood does magic. He used to do magic for my nephew before he got taken away by the state, and he was blown the fuck away by it. Just that little like fucking marker out the ear.
Yeah. Well, now like every time I see a video, I'm just like, all right, let me. I usually can't figure it out, but I'm like, I'm not watching the trick itself. I'm watching. Well, like I watch the trick itself, and then I watch like, all right, where could that thing have possibly come from?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so, like there's no like allure to it to me. It's just like it's a puzzle that I want to figure out.
You ever watch clips of Penn and Teller's Fool Us?
Oh yeah, I used to actually love that show. Yeah.
Dude, that is my favorite thing on YouTube is just like watching what they can, and the fact that you have the benefit of rewinding, like you can catch the things that they did.
Yeah.
Everybody
My
go watch
favorite thing
Fool Us.
was there were a couple not whole episodes, but like a couple tricks on that where I think they guessed it right, but the people or the guy or whoever on stage was like, well, I could have done it that way, but this is like, I actually did it this way. And, they speak in like coded language, not actually, but like you see like Penn and Teller both be like, you definitely did it the way we said it, but we can't prove you didn't do it that other way. So fuck.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you know what's funny? I first heard of this is on a tangent, but it's about magic, so fuck it. I first heard about that show, weirdly enough, 2012. I had a New Year's party, and at this New Year's party, a friend who I wasn't aware was a junkie at the time stole mine and my girlfriend's iPods. So this is pre-smartphone era. So I ended up listening to, because my job at the time was driving, I ended up listening to a lot of NPR. Mm-hmm. And I first heard of Fool Us when Penn Jillette was on like Terry Gross or something promoting the show. And they talk about that, like, well, what do you do if somebody's lying? He's like, okay, well, we had this one magician on. It didn't make air, but we saw it and we knew very clearly, like, this has to be a double. This guy has to have a twin. It just, that has to be it. And we kind of gave that hint. And the guy on stage was like, nope, that's not it at all. And we literally, like, this went on for 20 minutes. And we were literally like, all right, turn the fucking cameras off. Where is the first guy? And the first guy came out of like the wings of just like, please don't put this on TV. He's like, you got to get your fucking brother on board. He almost fucked this whole thing up for you. And then they just never aired it.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
I think I love wrestling and magic for the same reason. I like not knowing what is and isn't real.
That's fair. Except none of wrestling's real. I mean, like the stunts are, but
right. But when they like work in like real life shit here and there, like
my roommate and our friend played me, I guess, CM Punk's last promo at the WWE.
The pipe bomb.
The thing where he said the world will be better when Vince McMahon dies.
Yep.
And no one was sure if that was like scripted or if he's like actually meant that.
Right. Well, it was so mind blowing. This was called the pipe bomb promo. This was basically CM Punk single-handedly got WWE the first mainstream attention since The Rock had been there, and then WWE proceeded to piss it down its leg because that guy's not big and muscular enough.
Yeah.
But the fact that he came out on TV and he wasn't talking like storyline, like, I'm mad at you because you cost me the belt. He was like, this company is shit. And Vince McMahon, I want to tell all of Vince McMahon's shareholders that you are in business with an evil fucking man. And this company is going to be so much better once he's dead.
Yeah.
And it wasn't so much like, ooh, did he obviously had permission to say that. It was the fact that he was bringing so much of that real life
shit.
Like the WWE has had legitimate lawsuits about like, hazing and harassment and improper treatment of employees. And he was bringing that shit up in that promo.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Everybody go watch wrestling.
Dumbledore gave all the points back to Gryffindor because bravery and shit.
The one thing I'll say is I really thought it didn't make sense to me that Dumbledore gave him the invisibility cloak. I honestly thought that was going to reveal to be like Quirrell had given him that as like knowing that he would find his way down there. Like it doesn't really make sense for Dumbledore to give him that.
Yeah, it's because it's Dumbledore going, oh, well, I thought you would try. So instead of, sternly telling you not to and making sure you don't try and handling it myself, I'm going to let an 11-year-old die. Like,
yeah. I have a hunch this might be Magic Jesus. Let's just throw him out there.
Yeah.
And if we lose, if a redhead gets sexually assaulted on a chessboard, you got to break a couple legs to make an omelet.
Yeah, we can lose a few 11-year-olds. We can't lose Dumbledore.
No. So that's what they don't show you in this universe is the reason there are 20,000-year-old fucking wizards lying around. They are standing on the bones of tweens who just never make it out.
Yeah.
Harry gets out of his hospital bed to go to the end of year feast. The dining hall is decorated in Slytherin colors to celebrate Slytherin's 7th consecutive win of the championship cup. Dumbledore rises to speak and announces in light of current events, more points need to be given out. He gives Ron and Hermione 50 points each and Harry 60 points for their feats in getting to the stone. Gryffindor thus pulls into a tie with Slytherin. Dumbledore then adds that Neville has been awarded 10 points for learning bravery. Gryffindor pulls ahead into first place, thus winning the House Cup. Yo, even if you're against Slytherin, that is some horse shit.
Yeah, that's some the refs have money involved in the game and they're not calling the right calls.
Point shaving. I mean, could you imagine if like the fucking Super Bowl, there's 3 seconds left and the ref just comes out on the field like, actually, Tom Brady showed a lot of moxie. I'm giving him 35 points.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay wins another.
Yeah. Do you think that's what he had to go to the Ministry of Magic for you to appear before a grand jury about point shaving and corrupt practices and the House Cup thing?
Yeah, he had to appear before the Magic NCAA.
The Magic grand jury, yeah.
The NCAAQ of Quidditch. Yeah. He's in deep with the with the centaurs. He just needed to pull a few things here and there.
Nicholas Flamel was involved. That's why he was like, I'm going to die so I don't get caught up in this.
That's right. And Nicholas Flamel is pulling like an R. Bud Dwyer. He's just going to put a wand in his mouth on live TV.
Yeah.
When
It's going to be some wizard band that makes that their cover in a couple years.
Hey, man. Nice cruciatus. Deep guts. When school grades finally arrive, Harry and Ron do well, and Hermione is at the top of the class. They all pack and head to the train station to go back to their homes. Harry, Hermione, and Ron say their goodbyes for the summer, and Harry heads home, eager to use a little magic on Dudley Dursley to do the thing he's been explicitly told not to do.
Yeah. The Muggles don't know, but like they can track your magic. I don't think that comes out in this book, but they
mentioned something of the sort because it's the reason Hagrid is not a wizard.
Oh, okay. But yeah, they can track your magic even if people don't know you're not allowed to use it. The Big Brother wizard knows.
Yeah. So where does this book rank for you in like the books overall, as far as just like quality? Obviously, this is the most children's book of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think the first two are pretty children-y, and then I think the third one's the best, The Prisoner of Azkaban, because that's when it starts to get a little more evil.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this is probably the worst of the seven, 8. Are there 8 or 7?
You tell me. I'm reading these for the first time.
All right, the 7 or 8 of them, whatever. But the first one's, I think, the worst.
All right. Yeah. I mean, it's currently 1 out of 1 for me, both the best and the worst. I mean,
yeah,
it's fine. It was, again, I'm hoping as these books get longer, because I still intend to do like month-long entries for each one. I'm hoping it gets more like
they get progressively longer. I do remember that they get progressively longer as they go up. I think like the last one is the longest read.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, I'll be sure to have you on for one of those. Right.
Yeah.
I'm well aware this was going to be a marathon rather than a sprint. But you gotta start on the first one. You know.
You got to start on the first one, and you got to remember that I don't know, centaurs suck. Hashtag centaurs suck, and whatever the other thing I said about Voldemort an hour ago.
All right. So what we learned today is centaurs are sexual abusers.
Yeah.
Voldemort.
Although we don't really learn that until the fourth book. Or fourth, I think. Yeah.
Okay. We learned that wizards killed Princess Di.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, Voldemort killed Diana. Yeah.
And we learned that Hogwarts has just tons of dead preteens all over the grounds.
All over the grounds, yeah.
I'm fine with that.
And Jesse's scared of death. We learned that. I didn't know that about you.
If you've ever listened to this podcast, you know Jesse is scared of death.
Okay.
I say as I look into my own face in the Zoom call and notice like, ooh, those bags are getting kind of big under the eyes.
You're fine. You're healthy, I think.
I'm fine. I got another 5-6 years.
Yeah, that's all you need.
All right, Dan, remind us again where we can find you, anything you got coming up.
Cool. Yeah, well, like I said, if you're in Texas, I'll be in Austin, Texas at the Kick Butt Comedy Cafe for the Altercation Comedy Festival, October 27th through the 30th or 31st, I think. And you can find me on Instagram at Tall Dinklage. And really, that's the only thing that's worth following me on. My Twitter's where my Twitter's where ideas go to die.
All right, so go have a spooky rootin' tootin' time with Dan Clark in Texas, October 27th to 30th. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, dude. Thanks for doing this. This was
cool.
This was a fun one, actually.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stop recording. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Wait, where is it? I can't find. Okay, fuck you guys.